Yeah, he doesn't look quite as relaxed as Unai Emery did. You can understand it, because what a headache for a manager. Man City coming to town. Last season, I don't know if you remember this game, Bournemouth played it cagey. They had 18% possession, didn't manage a single shot, and still lost anyway. So what does he do this time? Does he go for it?
I think you have to. And there have been games where, even at City, where they played the game, Bournemouth, and played quite well and still lost. You lose. They lost 3-1 there last year. But they've scored and they played well, but in the end they came short. I think you have to go for it and try your best. And whether you lose 1 or 4, it doesn't matter. You lose at the end, but at least you've given a good go. And, maybe this City team, as we saw against Spurs last weekend, maybe not as resilient because early in the season, maybe not as ruthless as they will be later in the season. So, at home at the Vitality Stadium, it might be a good chance for Bournemouth.
They've had some good results there of late. They beat Spurs there in May. They beat Chelsea there by a healthy scoreline. When was that? Last January. Yeah. I'm a bit lost as to whether Bournemouth are actually any good this year. But one thing that does seem to be working for them is that man there, Harry Wilson.
Yeah, it's always great, when a player comes on loan and he's excited, he wants to prove a point. It's always exciting, especially the situation he is. He comes from a Liverpool side that is a great side, and if you don't make it into a great side, that means that doesn't mean that you're not good enough. Maybe this is not your time, but he has the ability. So that's why for me, it's very exciting to see him play. The only thing what we just talked about, when they're going to play against City, I hope they don't get caught in a trap. And the trap is very simple. One, frustrated because they have too much ball position. And the other trap is sometimes they allow you to be on the ball for a couple of minutes. You get the confidence up and they hit you on the break. Yeah. And those two things are the things where Pep is so good at. Because that's what you do when you're on a football side. Sometimes you give the ball away and allow them to pass at the back, give them the feeling that they're in the game, and then you just try to kill it off. And the opposite is the other way.
I think what we saw there, though, with the 10 goals from outside the box is something that City will have to be wary of. That's as good as any of the leagues. That's the most in any of the leagues. And he's somebody that we know that Klopp is constantly in touch with. He's got high hopes of him. He's messaging him, making sure that he's doing well. It's an unbelievable investment that Bournemouth have put into him, 2.5 million and 500,000 in respects of bonuses. So they know that they've got a decent player on their hands. And for me, I'd go with what Julian said in respects of Bournemouth going for it and getting these guys to express themselves and play. Because I fancy City to win the game, so you might as well get something out of playing against the best team. Right. Rather than, like you mentioned, the stats, 18% possession, no shots on target.
Yeah, last time Kyle Walker outpassed the entire Bournemouth team.
and Bournemouth can play as well. It's not like if they were just a long ball team and they couldn't play. They can actually play, and they've got players to play.
Exactly.
And they've got a front two that are very interesting and can hold the ball up, and the whole team doesn't have to play too deep, especially at home. So go for it.
Absolutely.
Let's have a word or two about some of the Man City players who can score goals from range, and indeed from close range, like Raheem Sterling. A lovely little header from him last time out.
Yeah, but, and a great ball. This ball, what De Bruyne puts in, look at Sterling already. He's not been picked up, but that there, that's what he's about now. Getting in the box and finishing with head, with volleys, with everything. One-touch finishes. That is what he's doing now. He's about getting his numbers up, building a legacy now. We know what he can do with his feet and his ability. Now he looks to me like somebody who can literally score in every game.
The impressive thing, about the cross from De Bruyne never looks. No. De Bruyne knows exactly where he's going to put the ball and where Aguero is going to be and where Sterling is going to be, because that's why they work so hard on the training. And Sterling knows exactly what run to make when the ball is coming into De Bruyne's feet. And I think when you get to that kind of level as a team of almost playing with your eyes closed and finding each other, it's just amazing.
Yeah, you move on the ability of the player around you, right? Because you know that he has the best service, so you're going to anticipate on that, because it's in every team, and I totally agree with you. But it's also like, if you look at a guy like Sterling, look at Cristiano when he came here. It was dribbling, it was tricks and all that going on. Changed the game and he became a pure goal scorer. Yeah. And the value went way higher than seeing the tricks. Sterling, when you looked at Sterling, he was an out-and-out winger, goes to the back line, try to cross the ball. Now, he is as dangerous as they come. Right. You understand? Because he can do everything. if a kid, he's not the tallest player. So for a player then and the direction of the ball, the way it gets whipped in, and then making sure that you angle it to the right corner, it looks easy, guys, but it ain't easy. No. Because, trust me, even as a defender, to try to clear that ball is hard. So imagine trying to get it in the goal. So for him as a player, I'm very excited for him, because for me, I said it last season already, is for me at this point, it's definitely, if he's not, he should be one of the most exciting English player in the Premier League right now.
Right. Yeah. And he's, you know, in world terms as well, he's in that conversation.
Exactly.
Too. They have so many weapons, so many ways they can hurt you. How is it that they didn't actually win last weekend against Tottenham?
Well, to be honest, 30 shots on target, Tottenham's 3. What more can you do? Then you get the handball, which is, I'm gutted about that, because I said 3-2.
So this was Jesus' what would have been the winning goal, and it's called back because there was a touch from Laporte in the build-up.
Yeah.
And the rule is, I think you've been over this.
No, the rule is, doesn't matter if it's accidental or purpose. If it hits your arm and it goes to, and they score, it's disallowed, which is ridiculous for me, simply because, and it's not VAR, it's the rule. Because if that hit the defender's arm, it wouldn't be a penalty.
Right.
And that is what's so confusing.
I would lose my cool,
It's so confusing, but like, it was a game again, like the question you asked, James.
Right.
Man City can't do any more. 30 attempts on goal to Tottenham's 3, but you still have to give Tottenham credit for hanging in there and getting something in the end.
Do they get, I know this is a little bit of a kind of lazy response to a game like that, but do they sometimes get a little bit complacent, do you think, Man City? They're doing so well that they almost ease up a bit?
I don't know if it's complacency, but certainly in terms of being clinical. And in Pep's first season, so 3 seasons ago, before the 2 titles in a row, is the issue they had. They used to create so many chances, and they couldn't score, not score enough, or as many as they should have. And Pep used to say, like, we have to be better in front of goal. We have to be more clinical. And it seems that in this time of the season, it might not last, but there's a bit of rustiness about them in front of goals, maybe, and not being as clinical and as ruthless. Again, what we said earlier about their finishing.
Right, Bournemouth in with a chance, Mario.
Yeah. Ake, Cook, they're going to be a busy back line. So they have to just make sure, look, defensively, if they put it up well, you understand, the midfielders come back. And then the 3 guys up front, if they can do something, because they know each other well, Fraser, King, Wills, that's the team. That's where they, because I don't think they can really play as a defensive side, because they're not built like that.
Right.
He have trained them to play football. It's very hard for them to go the opposite way.
Fair enough. Excellent. Let's take